Good evening, everyone. I'm Lieutenant Commander Vimal Raj, a retired naval aviator and a group testing officer, served in SSB Calcutta as well as 12 SSB Bangalore as a group testing officer. My experience per se, if you have to say, it is like I've served in these two locations for about 3 years. I'm one of the youngest naval officers to become a group testing officer, and the stage 1 assessment is about more than 5,000, and then stage 2 I have about 750 plus. So that is my experience about. And before that, coming into GTOing, I was into aviation flying as a naval air operations officer. If you are applying right now, you will be able to see naval air operations officer. And then my flying experience is about 1500 hours of flying. And prior to that, for somebody to connect with me, to feel it personal, it is like I was an NCC Air Wing cadet, and I'm a C certificate holder and with A grade. Also, I attended Republic Day Camp 2007 and state level best cadet gold medal as well. So this is my short background. But if you have to look at my family and all, it is from a very, very normal background. My father is a farmer, mom is a housewife. So I'm from a very, very meager, normal background. Just because I came into NCC and I came to know that, okay, there is something like an armed forces where I can make my career for myself. And as I started performing well in NCC, that level of inspiration has gone more and more by looking at officers while attending Republic Day Camp. Interest towards joining armed forces, especially Air Force or flying branch, has gone in manifolds. And however, I landed up in naval aviation. So maybe I was destined to fly as a naval air operations officer. That is what there. And subsequently, I felt like, okay, this group testing officer course is also an interesting course where you can actually shape the future leadership of the armed forces. Basically, the officer who I selected in last 3 years, they will be the future leaders for the times to come. There might be a chief of naval staff also sitting into the panel, which I have got recommended, maybe something like that. So that is the responsibility of a assessor sitting in an SSB. That is what you have to understand. So that means you have to understand they will be looking at that way. But again, that does not mean they are just looking at the chief of naval staff material. They are looking at an average officer. If they are looking at a candidate who is a potential candidate who can get himself or herself trained at the training academies, and then they can become an average officer, that is what they are looking at. If you have to show some amount of potentiality in you to the assessors where they should be able to believe and take the call. Yes, this boy or girl can become an average officer, and from average officer to the chief of army staff or navy staff or Air Force staff level, you learn in the services based on your experience, and then you gradually perform, and then you reach up to the highest echelons. That is what you have to keep in your mind. And coming on to the agenda for today's session, we will be speaking about GTO technique, and that too the first task, that is group discussion as well as lecturette. The group testing technique, I have covered it many a times. It has got total of 9 tasks, and it is spread over across 2 days. It will happen for 2 days. First day, it will have 6 tasks, and the second day, it will have about 3 tasks. And in the first day, it has got 6 tasks. And if you see the other way, it is like there are 3 indoor tasks and there are remaining 6 outdoor tasks. The indoor tasks are group discussion, group planning exercise, and the lecturette. And the remaining rest, all 6 are outdoor tasks, wherein it is progressive group task, group obstacle race, half group task, individual obstacles, and then command task, and then final group task. These are the outdoor tasks where you have to go and do something practically or physically with your hands on ground. However, for GD, group discussion, GP, group planning exercise, and lecturette, there is no great physical efforts required. This is more of a mental. So this is a combination of both. Now let us start with the group discussion. This is the first and foremost task which the assessor is going to give you. That is, the group testing officer is going to give you. The first task is called as a group discussion, in which there will be 2 discussions will be happening. 2 discussions. Okay. For the first discussion, the assessor will give you 2 topics, and then he will let you to choose. When he gives out a topic, it will have 3 leads. And the first topic will be of international level, and which will have 3 leads. And then the second topic will be of national level, and it will also have 3 leads. And then the assessor will give you a short time of about 30 seconds to 1 minute so that you can have a quick discussion that which topic the group would like to discuss. That is either the international topic or the national topic. If the group decides national topic, he goes on with it. If the group decides international topic, he goes on with that. He does not change or he does not demand you to do this. Whatever the group decides, because the group has to be comfortable in choosing the topic, and then they should be able to speak and give more of points. The more you speak, the more data the assessor gets to assess about you. If you're not opening your mouth, he will straight away consider you as a low performer, and then your chance of coming back without getting a recommendation is way too higher. Okay. So this is the first topic. This discussion will go for about 15 to 20 minutes. So once this discussion happens, and then GTO will get up from his seat, and then he will end this discussion. And thereafter, he will introduce one more topic for discussion, for the second discussion. For this discussion, there is no two topics on all. Whatever topic the GTO is giving, you have to discuss on the same. However, the time limit is almost the same. Now, this topic will be of generally of slightly lower level, generally to call it as a social level topic. That is something like a women empowerment, pollution. So something like this, where anybody and everybody should be able to contribute. Mostly, if you see, it is when the first topic is given, that is a national level and an international level, there may be a boy or a girl who are unable to speak in front of the crowd, where they are able to putting more points and points, where this individual is struggling to speak. He wanted to say something or she wanted to say something, but unable to speak because the others were overpowering. So now the assessor gives an even simpler topic where at least you have the confidence to open up and speak. If you are not speaking in both the topics, then it is a clear-cut indication to the assessor that you are a low performer who lacks either knowledge or confidence or the mannerism. You don't know how to put across your thought process. You lack some communication issues. So these are few things which the assessor will keep a mark of it, that, and ultimately you didn't perform because you are there to perform. Any interview in your life or any selection in your life, you have to perform, right? If you're not performing, sitting idle, then straight away there is no way possible, purely depending on the luck, you may not get recommended. So that is what you have to strongly keep in your minds. Okay, now let's see what are all the background or what are all the things which is necessary for a candidate to keep in mind. First and foremost thing, in this process, series of tests in the GTO technique, that is group testing technique. The first task is group discussion. The second task is group planning exercise. Third is progressive group task. And fourth is a group obstacle race. There is a reason behind this for in which this task is designed. Basically, what happens is this process called group development, which is happening at a very subconscious state of mind. First is formation, wherein you are interacting with your friends at your rooms, cabins. So on the psych day or on the first day, so there you get to form with each other. Likewise, in GD, there is something happening. In GP, something happening, which we will cover it later. So when the GD is given, you are trying to explore each other through your verbal communication. Explore in the sense, you are trying to identify the personality who is sitting next to you, whether he's a knowledgeable person or he's an average person or he's a low performer. It's not only the assessor who is trying to find out, even you yourself, when you are interacting, you are also trying to find out whether this person will be my good friend. Can I accept him as a leader or can I be a leader for him? So these are the things which is happening in your mind without your consciousness. So when a topic is given, you are trying to interact, and when somebody gives out his point, as well as the way they behave with you, the manner in which when you are trying to speak, if they give you a chance, then you started liking them. So there is a interaction which is happening among the group members. In the group discussion, the normal group size is minimum 6 and maximum of 10, and generally ideal is 8. So you can get a group of 6, maybe 7, maybe 8, maybe 9 or 10. Not more than 10, not less than 6. So generally you will have 6 to 10. And nowhere the assessor or the group test, they don't tell that this person is the leader of this group. You are at liberty to choose a leader, or you yourself can become a leader. It is something like in your school days when the class teacher tells, okay, this academic year, who wants to become a leader? So they ask. Here, we don't ask who wants to become a leader. It is a process in which you have to prove yourself to the group, and the group has to gradually accept, yes, this person is a leader for us. Similarly, in the process, the GTO also identify who works out to be a leader. So will there be only one leader in the entire group? No, need not be necessary. Will there be no leaders at all? Need not be necessary. Okay. So based on your performance, it is taken. There are times where every group of 10 has got 3 or 4 people cleared by AGTO. That means 4 leaders were there. Yes, 4 of them had the leadership qualities which were suiting to become an officer. At maybe at various levels. Some may be having the fullest, like some little. But while this all acceptable, yes, all these were acceptable. What about the remaining 6? They do had leadership qualities, but not up to the acceptable levels. Then that's why the assessor is not clearing a candidate or not recommending a candidate. Similarly, individually, the psychologist will also check and interviewers will also check. Now, coming back to the group discussion part, it is a leaderless group based on your pure performance. That is the way you put across your points. The group will accept you as a leader. So it is upon you to interact with your friends and then to prove them that you have some amount of leadership quality. Or if you don't want to perform, you want to be a follower, you can always remain as a follower, keep quiet and keep listening to others. You are a very good follower. Definitely you will come back home without getting a recommendation. This is what you have to keep in your mind. Okay, what are the core things which an assessor sees? Is first and foremost for in outdoor task is confidence. If you are a person who has got self-confidence, then definitely you are a person who can take up the challenges which is posed in front of you. What is self-confidence? Self-confidence is one's faith in his own abilities to undertake stressful situations or unfamiliar situations. Basically, when I tell you, go to, like, for example, I'm sure you would have traveled within the country. Suddenly, if I tell you, go abroad, like, for example, if I tell you, go to Oman and come back, or go to Afghanistan and come back, do you have the confidence? That means, do you believe in your abilities? Yes, I can go to this place and do this or meet that person and come back. If you have that, yes, you have a confidence. Or if you started shaking, wavering, because I'm giving you an unfamiliar situation. So in an unfamiliar situation, if your confidence breaks, that means, or if you're not believing in yourself, you don't have the faith in your capabilities, that means your confidence is not up to the mark. It does not mean you don't have confidence. You have confidence, but it is not up to the acceptable levels of armed forces. That's all. Okay, if you go twice and come back, and thereafter if third time I'm sending you, then it becomes a familiar problem for you. You easily go, because you go seen, you know people, you can easily go. So that's how life is. So your confidence in an unfamiliar situation, we check. Do you believe in your confidence? Why? Because we don't know when a war-like scenario or a war scenario might come up. So that is an unfamiliar situation. Neither you nor me and none of them, most of us would have not seen a war. We don't know how the situations will turn up. So in an unfamiliar environment or an unfamiliar situation, do you have faith in your abilities or not? So that is what is checked. So that means you must have confidence once. I'm sure till now everybody is clear with this. So if most of you understood, you can just put one Y in the chat box so that I'll get a clarity that most of you understood. Chat box, if it is activated. Okay, so now first is confidence.